Hey guys, it's Bam Mobs here, and we are still covering the greatest sport of America, Alabama high school football, as always focusing on Class 6A. A little bit ago, I already went through all the scores for tonight, November the 8th, 2024, in the first round of state playoffs. This video, we're going to be looking at the matchups for next week. I'm not really going to predict a winner yet. It's too early. I know it's still tonight. I mean, the games are just now over. So I'm going to need a few more days to percolate on this before I put my picks down. So we're going to go down here and look at the matchups and discuss it just a little bit. So we'll move on over to the technology room. Here we go. Moving on over to our high-tech graphics. And here we are. So again, if you're interested in the scores, look at my previous video. As always, hit that like button down below. It takes you like a millisecond. Hit the subscription button, hit that notifications bell. It just helps me out. Much appreciated. Sounds like I'm begging. I might be. Anyway, let's have some fun with this. All right, so second round matchups, which will be November 15th, 2024. First up will be Pike and St. Paul's. So Pike County, as I've said in my previous videos, their record, they have about 3 losses, but that was against up-class opponents, and they ended up being the region champion, undefeated region champion over Russell County. And St. Paul's, as you know from my previous videos, this is the #1 defense in the state of Alabama. And St. Paul's can score a few points, usually in the range of 20 to 26. I just don't know about the team speed of St. Paul's. Is that going to be the difference? Does Pike have more team speed than St. Paul's? That's my initial thoughts on this. If you know something about these two teams, just hit some comments down below and let us all know what's up for next week. The next one here, Hueytown Golden Gophers versus the Fort. Yeah, that's Spanish Fort. Spanish Fort had a tough one tonight. They eked out a win against Benjamin Russell. The Gophers, I think they're a solid team. Are they a great team? I don't think so. Spanish Fort has played superior opponents. Their region has put them through the fires of battle. So I'm looking at Spanish Fort possibly over the Gophers. Again, hey, the games are just now over. We'll save picks for later this week. Saraland is going to match up with the McAdory Yellow Jackets. McAdory barely won their game tonight. Saraland, yet another blowout. Saraland is the region champion in Region 1, Mobile, Alabama. That's going to be an exciting game next week. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it later. Here's another pick here that I had. So far, all my picks came out except when I got here. McGill was a #4 seed going against Spain Park. Spain Park won that game. Okay? Just letting you know, this is where I penciled it in earlier this week, which I told you I wasn't going to change it, and I'll do the changes when I do my new video on my picks upcoming this week. But anyway, McGill-Tulane lost the game. So that's going to be Spain Park versus Russell County. As I've said ad nauseum, Spain Park has an awesome offense. Russell County, I have to be honest, I'm just not educated on them. I don't know what they got. Do they have speed? They got big boys. They got a fat back. I don't know what they got. So if anybody knows, leave a comment down below and enlighten us. Now, all this up here, that is the Southern Division. So now we start in the Northern Division. That's going to match up Oxford, which is one of the top offenses in the North, with Hartselle, which is one of the top defenses in the North. So we're going to see how that shakes out. Now, the last time this happened, Oxford was playing Clay Chalkville in their region, and Clay Chalkville had the #1 defense in the state at that time, and Oxford beat them by 3 touchdowns. So Oxford, they may just have a potent offense. Anybody knows, anybody that's actually been to those games, just leave us a message down in the comments. Next up here is Fort Payne, and it's not going to be Athens. It's going to be Homewood. Homewood won that game tonight. Fort Payne was my sleeper team. I just didn't know a lot about them. I thought maybe Fort Payne will make a push in the playoffs. They eked out a win tonight, so it's going to be Fort Payne against Homewood. I think that's going to be a competitive game. We'll see how it shakes out next week. The Herd. I don't need to tell you the name of the high school. If you don't know the name of the high school after I say the Thundering Herd, you're not an Alabama high school football junkie. But for the people that don't know, yeah, that's Parker High School in Birmingham. They played Coleman tonight. Easy win. On the other side, I picked Southside to beat Mountain Brook, and I was wrong. I thought Southside, be scrappy, all that type of stuff. But, Mountain Brook did it, and they're going to match up with Parker. That's really a over-the-mountain game. So you're going to have Parker on the Birmingham side of Red Mountain and Mountain Brook on the over-the-mountain side, as they call it here in the area. So that's going to be an interesting game, though. There's all types of marketing opportunities for that. The Birmingham News can really hype that game. So it's going to be the Parker Thundering Herd versus the Mountain Brook Spartans. I might have to get sick at work next week and make that game. We'll see how that works out. Maybe I can trade for 4 hours. I don't know. Moving on. Now this game here, this one is going to be a shootout. So you have Muscle Shoals versus Clay. Muscle Shoals is the #1 offense in the state of Alabama, as I've told you before. Clay Chalkville, they vary between #1 and #2 in the state on defense. Muscle Shoals, I have seen them play in person. Their offense really relies on speed. They got two guys that if they get a couple steps on you, they are vapor, they are gone. You'll be like, there was only a step ahead of me. I had an angle on him. Why did I not tackle him? Because the dude's running a 4 flat. I didn't say a 4-1 or a 4-2. He's running 4 flat. If you don't believe me, go to the game. Now, on the other side of this, Clay, what type of defense do they have? Do they have like 4 defensive tackles that all go 280 apiece, and they're not fat? They're like athletic. Do they have like a middle linebacker that looks like, Takeo Spikes? What has Clay got on defense? I really don't know. But we're going to find out. That's going to be a big-time game no matter where it's played. Clay Chalkville is in Trussville, Alabama. Of course, Muscle Shoals is where it's at. So wherever that game is, it might be worth the drive to get there. So to recap, we're going to start going backwards. So in the North Division, we have Muscle Shoals versus Clay Chalkville. The Parker Thundering Herd versus Mountain Brook. Fort Payne versus Homewood. And finally, you have Oxford versus Hartselle. In the Southern Division, you're going to have Spain Park versus Russell County. Saraland versus the Macador Yellow Jackets. Spanish Fort versus the Hueytown Golden Gophers. And Pike County versus St. Paul's Episcopal. And that is the rundown. I appreciate you going down the bracket with me. Hit that like button, and I will see y'all later this week. Y'all have a great weekend. Go Bama, beat Tigers.